Can you hear me?
Yep.
I think I need another earphone because I'm hearing this tapping noise in my ear. Are you hearing that?
No.
Okay. We're not recording on. Oh,
We definitely are.
hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, boo.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a 5-hour migraine today, but let's push through.
No bueno. It's still going on, or was you able to get it to chill?
I it went away at like 5, but I mean, I sent JT a text at 12 something like, so this migraine. So that's how I know it was 5 hours long because it was like,
Yikes.
oh. And I went to the doctor's last month because I have migraines like this all the time. And
Yeah.
so I'm just like, when they hit you with that, like from a scale of 1 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
like where's your pain? Like
Uh-huh.
today I was at work crying, so I was at a 10.
Oh, man. Are you going
Yeah,
to
I
call
was
them
in
back to
pain.
see if maybe they can prescribe you something? Or, because I'm assuming regular medicine ain't touching on it.
I got a CAT scan and everything. They told me I was fine. I was like, oh, so I just have
I'm making this pain up.
migraines.
Oh,
Yeah, was
interesting.
that true?
Wow.
Yeah,
Sounds like you need to
and
go
it's
to another doctor.
TRICARE doctors are fucking trash. I don't know what's going on with the military doctors, but they're just not it. So
And you ain't approved to go
maybe
to nothing like a urgent care, nothing like that.
no.
That sucks.
I think because before I had TRICARE, like the civilian doctors,
Hmm.
they want your coins.
Right.
So if you come in there and you say that you got some pain, they're gonna try to find an illness, okay, to assign that
They
goddamn
gonna give
pain
you
to.
every test that's possible so they can charge you for it, or at least
But
bill your
TRICARE,
insurance.
TRICARE, every time I go in there, it don't matter what it's about. They be like, "Oh, you just need to lose weight." I'm like, "Oh, so
Oh,
everything is because I'm fat."
oh,
True, that's what's
true.
up.
So skinny people don't have migraines. Oh, that's what's up.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
lit.
How are you?
Um, I'm maintaining. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't my best day, but I mean, I'm here. And
How was Thanksgiving?
it started out super rough, but it ended good. I
That's
got to see
good.
you had a little game night this weekend.
Yeah.
So, made me some sexy dip and meatballs and play some games. So that
That
was
one dip
fun.
was good as shit.
Look, thanks to Pinterest, because let me say something. I had my little two go-to dips, and then I was like, what else can I do? And definitely found that joint on Pinterest. They called it crack dip. I said, that sounds like what I should feed my friends. Crack dip.
Crack.
But the crazy thing is that was the dip that everybody was eating the most. So I'm like, maybe it was crack. Go me.
Yeah, shit was good.
But yeah, it was cool. If anybody who knows me knows that I love Thanksgiving food and I will eat Thanksgiving leftovers until literally it's none left. Like I'm not throwing it away. So like I'm still eating Thanksgiving food and I love every
Damn.
bit of it. I mean like
I'm
for
judging.
for lunch, for dinner.
I'm judging.
Yeah, my husband's over it, I'm pretty sure. But me and my son, we've been grubbing, bruh. Like we've been
Y'all gonna get sick. The hell?
look,
Y'all cannot still be eating Thanksgiving food. First of all, how much food did y'all make that y'all even still have
a
Thanksgiving
lot,
food?
way more than I should have made. Like literally that big ass turkey, that big ham, like, and then the big pans of sides. Like I got pies. Look, that daggone rum cake from Honey Baked Ham,
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I've been snacking on that with some ice cream. That's why I'm fat. Like I just need to start next year. Like I'm gonna be eating these Thanksgiving leftovers slam to the weekend. So
Oh my
saving
god.
money. Ain't got to buy my lunch. I'm with it. And anybody that's
Hey
judging me, listeners,
I'm judging.
yeah. Well, look, guess what? It's good. It tastes good.
I feel like Sunday is pushing it.
Sun,
After Thanksgiving, I feel like there should be no more food. Or if it's going to
but
be
there is
food,
food.
it should be like, but it shouldn't
But
be.
I had a
Like,
lot, and it was literally 4 people.
mm, because you didn't want nobody to have no food. You wouldn't have food if you would have let us eat some.
No, all them motherfuckers don't eat my Thanksgiving food. That's for me. I gotta take lunch for the week. They would have been in that joint crushing that honey baked ham, and it would have been enough for me. I would have been salty as hell all this week. Like, sure wish I had some more ham left. Spent all that money on that
I
ham.
cannot. I can't eat leftovers that long. Like Thanksgiving is like the longest I can eat leftovers because typically I'm like 1 day of leftovers, and after that I'm just like no.
Depending on what it is, like
So
certain leftovers, like I ain't messing with it. Like I really don't like leftover fried chicken. I don't like leftover
oh
pizza.
no,
Nah, spaghetti and
I
pasta. I'm rocking with that till the wheels fall off. But some other leftovers, I'm just like, but
not till the wheels
for
fall off.
sure. But
Only 1 day,
shit, not over here. I keep it pushing, especially
and
Thanksgiving food till it's gone.
no.
But anyway, hey listeners, how are y'all? I hope y'all Thanksgiving was lit. If not, I'm sorry. But thanks for coming back. We are on episode 17.
Yes,
Yes.
episode
We on
16
16?
was a journey.
Look,
No, episode.
look. We had Daggone Coffee and Dunkin' on here, and they still begging to come back. They said, why don't we just come back once a month? I said, oh, no, no.
What?
That's definitely dead. But it
Mm,
definitely was a good time, but a headache.
mm,
We love our friends,
mm.
but Lord Jesus. Yeah, but we hope you guys enjoyed our little Friendsgiving episode. But we are back to the norm now with your Chatty Patties. And
Yes.
let's see, this week we are going to be talking about gender roles. So, gender roles, at first I was thinking, okay, gender roles necessarily were more talking about like, who handles what in the household, like who's taking out the trash, who's doing the cleaning, that sort of thing. But if you really dive and delve into gender roles and the meaning, it actually is a lot broader than that. Like when you look at the definition of what a gender role is, it's a social role encompassing a range of behaviors or attitudes that are generally considered acceptable or inappropriate for people based on their actual or perceived sex and sexuality. So it's basically in a nutshell to put that in what society says that men and women should be doing and what's the norm on like how y'all should be acting and behaving. So of course I did some little research, and they said that the four basic kinds of gender stereotypes for roles fall into four different categories: personality traits, which would expect women to be emotional and accommodating while men are more self-confident and aggressive. Then domestic behaviors, which is what I was talking about before, like the women take care of the kids, cook, clean, while the men kind of take care of the finances and do like home repairs and fix and stuff. The third is occupations, where you assume teachers and nurses would be women, and pilots, doctors, engineers, and that sort of thing would be men. And then the fourth one that is physical appearance, that women would be thin and graceful, and men are tall and muscular. So I was like, wow, like it went a lot deeper than just what are we doing around the house. Apparently, like gender roles are something that society pretty much sets forward for how they expect or how men and women dress, behave, present themselves, that sort of thing. So that's what we're gonna be talking about this week and going into that. What are your thoughts, Miss Missy?
I actually did some research.
Mm-hmm.
Very brief research. Very brief. Very, very brief. So I won't even say research, but I read this article, not article, this
Mm-hmm.
paper that somebody wrote. It was about African Americans in gender
Mm-hmm.
roles. And I thought it was pretty interesting when it went as far back as slavery,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And it made sense. What they were saying in the essay was that like there weren't the gender roles that we think of today they weren't necessarily gender roles back then for slaves, because you got to think we were just property.
Right.
So as far as like men being the one to be the laborers and do this and do that, nah, we was all on the
Right.
field. So you know, but at the same time, our our white counterparts,
Hmm.
they already had the like clearly defined gender roles, because it says in this article that you know that men would as a punishment or whatever, like men would make slave men do women's work in an effort to punish them for wrongdoing. So basically, they would like have them cooking or cleaning the house or sew or wash clothes, or sometimes even wear women's
Oh,
dresses.
wow.
So the for basically what the article was saying, that as far as like are concerned and the African American community, it was weird because on one hand, all of us were out there working our asses off, but at the same time, there were still certain things that the masters put on people to make them feel like, okay, well, this is only for women to do.
Right. Right.
Like picking cotton was for everybody,
Pretty much.
but sewing was
That
not.
definitely was not for you.
Right.
Yeah, I had looked up something too that kind of dealt with the black community dealing with gender roles and that sort of thing. And it did bring up slavery, and it was saying that the current tension between the genders, like that it kind of was attributed from coming from slavery to like when we had like this black liberation where we're free, you can go get jobs and stuff. And a lot of the men began to react negatively to women and their newfound freedom, and they're artists and getting roles and jobs and that sort of thing. And so they were
Oh, you're talking about way, way, way after
yeah, yeah,
slavery.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
now, yeah, I
okay.
said from slavery to like the black liberation. So like,
Oh,
how it
okay.
kind of how it contributes to how I guess like black men and black women interact today. Like that, it kind of fed and trickled down to that because they started looking at women like, oh, y'all too aggressive. Like y'all out here thinking y'all the shit because y'all getting these jobs and you thinking you equal to us. So a lot of times we see this even today with educated, successful black women are being criticized and looked at in a way that men that's the same educational success level is not being criticized. You know what I mean?
But I think that that's bullshit, and I think that ties into masculine, these fragile masculine niggas.
Yeah.
Fucking okay. So, like I said, the article, they talked a lot about slavery. They didn't even get. I mean, they got into like the later years, but a lot of it was the history of African Americans and gender roles and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So I hear black men in particular saying, not even just black men, but a lot of men seem to look at black women as like aggressive and attitudinal, and we don't need nobody, and we're not submissive, and we're not this and we're not
Hmm.
that. But if you go back to slavery, it makes sense because a lot of families were torn apart because of slavery. Like coming here, they were torn apart. And even if you, let's say, establish yourself a little family at master's house, because you were property, you could be sold at any
Hmm.
moment and given to somebody else, or you could be killed, or whatever the case
No.
may be. So a lot of times women had to then be
And step into
strong
these
and take care of
roles.
their
Yeah.
kids. Yeah. Like they would have kids and they would still have to take care of their children regardless if the man was there or not. So then you go into um the later years where, men, I guess, were looked at as the laborers at that point, but that was mostly because women couldn't get jobs, because women in
They have
general didn't
women's
have rights,
rights.
let alone black
Right.
women. You know what I'm saying? So we were very, at that time, we were hella dependent on men to our detriment, because I'm sure the men wasn't shit, because,
That joint ain't just started
that's,
now.
yeah. So yeah, when we finally were able to go out there and get our own, that was it was just like, I mean, we didn't, no shade, they didn't need y'all to cook, they didn't need y'all to take care of the kids since they were already doing that.
Hmm.
They needed y'all to provide for them because women couldn't get jobs. So once they could get jobs, it was like, okay, so thanks.
Right. For sure. It basically boils down to femininity, gosh, that word, and masculinity. And I saw this other article on, which it was weird, it was on Planned Parenthood, and it was talking
I saw
about
that.
the extreme gender stereotypes. Yes,
Yes.
and it was just basically talking about hyper feminine folks versus, hyper masculine folks, and that a lot of the hyper feminine folks that have that trait tend to endure physical and emotional abuse from their partners, where hyper masculine folks are more likely to be physically and emotionally abusive, because they feel like, as a feminine person, like, I'm supposed to be submissive, I'm not supposed to be aggressive and talk back, and this is my role where I'm supposed to be meek and blah blah blah. Where this hyper masculine person, where I'm the man, like, don't talk back, like, I'm running things, and like super like in your face aggressive and strong and stuff. And this can be super harmful, as they don't allow people to be them true selves. It's like you're putting on this whole like facade of like, this is what society expects me to be. They expect me to be this man or this meek woman, and like, it's not realistic, even though that's some people's beliefs. Like, that ain't flying around these parts, like, not to me. So I know for me, like, just speaking on the domestic side, like domestic behaviors, like, there aren't any assigned gender roles in my household. Like, there's nobody that's like, all right, you're going to be the one changing all the diapers, or you're the one that's in charge of doing all the cleaning and the cooking. Like, the cooking more so because my husband isn't really a cook. Like, he can throw down on some breakfast, but that about it. And so when it comes to like cooking, then that's just falls onto me, because like, I'm just a better cook out of the two. But there aren't roles where like, oh, he's the manly man and I'm above cleaning. That should be the wife's duty. The only thing I'm not even gonna say taking out trash. As much as I hate it, like, I still take out trash, even though he does it more. Like, I'll take out the trash, but yeah, like, there's none of that hyper masculinity or hyper femininity type domestic behavior roles over around these parts. Like, I'm not around these parts. But I saw something else about how you can start kind of ingraining it in kids at a young age with, just showing that both sexes are equal. You want to at least teach them that, even though it ain't really, portrayed in our society these days. But they were given some things to, show boys and men expressing their emotions constructively and having diverse interests, that sort of thing. Try to use gender neutral color palettes. Like, I know for me, like, my daughter looked at me like I was crazy when I told her my favorite color was blue. And she was just like, blue? I was like, yeah, that's what it is. Blue is lit, and that's always been my favorite color. So it is what it is. She even would see like guys with longer hair, whether it would be braids and dreads, and sometimes she will always call them a female off the rip, and I'm just like, that's not a her, that's a he. And she was like, well, boys can have long hair like girls. I was like, boys and girls can have long hair. It's not just specific to, girls or women. So that sort of stuff, at least at a young age, will kind of instill in them that, hey, like, yes, there is a male and a female, but there aren't any sort of things like assigned to like, this is all masculine, this is all feminine. And they even broke it down to like a list of some movies and shows that kind of break up gender stereotypes, like Hidden Figures, where,
Mm-hmm.
necessarily you wouldn't have women portrayed as being the smarter of the smarter folks, like rocket scientists, like literally. Then they was talking about Mulan, where she was like, the cartoon, the Disney cartoon, where she was like a Chinese warrior. You normally don't see the females being a warrior and fighting and beating everybody. They even say Doc McStuffins, because it's a little girl that's interested in being a doctor, and I guess that would normally be like a boy or a male role. So that was something that would be considered something good for kids to watch to kind of break up the stereotypes. And they even talked about like some of the Disney princesses like Milan and Moana, and the girl, I don't know how to say her name, but the one from Brave, like Merida or whatever, where she was like an archer or something like that, that they're not the traditional Disney princesses where, you know, Cinderella and all, and where they got the big ball gowns and stuff. Like they out here slaying and handling business. So, you know, they kind of offer a positive gender representation for, you know, younger, not even girls, but younger kids, period. So, because boys need to see it too. Like, girls is out here doing stuff on their own. Like, we ain't just wearing dresses and, you know, in the kitchen and getting slippers and stuff. So, that's something to take into account if you have young children. No? But,
I think but never
well,
mind.
no, go ahead and say what you was about to say.
Well, some parents are now allowing their kids to be as expressive as they want to be. Um,
Yeah.
so
I mean, look at Will and Jada.
so to not so there are no like gender roles for those families. So that's what I'm saying. Like low
It's like you
key,
want to have a balance between the two. Like you don't want your kid to be all willy nilly, like go free and do great things, like with no boundaries. But at the same time, you don't want to put them in this pigeonhole to be like boys do this, girls do this.
but that's what I'm saying. People say that, but they are lying. Like because people definitely still tell their kids those things. Like if uh like a Barbie
Right.
doll, you know what I'm saying? Like if your son has a Barbie doll in his hand, I know mad people that'd be like, nah, he can't play with that. Nah, he can't do this. Nah, he can't. So I mean, people say people talk about balance,
They
but
ain't really practicing it.
honestly, not for their children. Like maybe the only time that balance comes into play is when you're an adult and when it comes to splitting up
Well, shit, it's too late by
responsibilities.
then. You got all your stuff ingrained in you and how you been raised by that point.
But that's what I'm saying. If there's gonna be fluidity between the roles, then it would have to start as a kid. Because even when you look at if you look at the toys, like the
Hmm.
way the toys are even
The
marketed,
commercials is like totally different. Like the music, the sounds, like you look at a toy for a boy, like a truck or something like that. They're like, yeah, boom, strong. Look at this, boom.
right?
And then you got the princess with the teapot, like,
It's like fucking fairies and shit
yes,
in the
it's super
background.
pink and
So,
purple. And yeah, that definitely is true how they even market the toys these days.
so that's what I'm saying. Like those gender roles are they're so fucking
Ingrained in
ingrained.
society.
Even like think about when you're having a baby shower.
Mm-mm.
If you're having a boy, everything's
Yep.
blue. If you're having a girl, everything is pink. Like that shit is
But
so
they
just
do
ingrained in us.
have neutral baby stuff now. Like they have like the whites and the tans, and then they do the greens and the yellows if you're trying to keep it neutral. But as a whole, most people, like you said, go to the blue or the pink. But they do offer neutral, but most folks gonna flock to.
Right. Well, when if I ever get pregnant again, I don't want to know the sex. So if I have a baby shower, it will have to be neutral because I won't know what I'm having anyway.
That's lit. I buy you all gray
Yeah.
and white everything.
Yeah.
But
So
you look at even shows like if you look at what the quote unquote Real Housewives franchise, and like you would assume somebody that don't watch that, it's like, oh, okay, this all about women who are at home, if you know the traditional sense of a housewife, and I guess they're at home taking care of the home while the man is the provider. But like if you look at some of these women are making more money than their husbands on the Real Housewives. Like you look at some of the joints on the New York one and even Atlanta, like Candy's running circles around Todd, I'm sure, with the money. Like so it's like they're not traditional housewives or doing domestic duties. So those gender roles, like, you know, in a show like The Real Housewives, is like, no, y'all, to a certain extent, like the word housewife, like that's not y'all. Y'all I mean, which is a good thing because you don't want to portray like that's how it always is, because there are households where the woman is making more than the man and not being taken care of. That sounds
there's
bad.
some men that have a real problem with that.
That
They have a huge
yeah,
He's talking about there are women making more money than
I
them.
know a lot of men that won't mess with somebody who's making more money than them because they feel like they have to be the breadwinner, or it will make them feel like less than a
But
man.
statistically, we make more money than them. So it's just is what it is.
Right.
Like by far, we make more money than men. As far as the black community, I don't know about like
Other
everyone else,
races.
but and yeah, and the black community, black women make far more money than men. Like the end.
Wow.
So I
Y'all
mean,
gonna have to get used to
I don't know what to tell y'all. Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of the stuff, a lot of the whole gender role conversation is just centered around like weak ass dudes that just are not. I don't know. I feel like if you're secure, then stuff like that would it shouldn't matter.
right.
You know what I mean? But it does. It just it goes, I think it goes back to being a child. Like
Hmm.
if you tell a little boy to go, I don't know, remember when dudes first started wearing pink, like it being
Right.
acceptable. But remember before then though, like wearing pink,
Like they was like, oh nah.
right, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like as a little boy is probably gonna be looking at something that's pink, like I don't want that, that's for girls.
Right.
Like it's just ingrained in us. But I think it goes back to men more so than women, because I don't know, most women I know get they do what they got to do just like men. I,
Exactly.
I I don't know. It's I'm trying to think like what do I not do that men are thought to do? Because I'm like I changed my own
Yeah.
tire.
Like I feel like I have some friends and associates that are like super feminine, girly, like they don't leave the house unless they did up, hair always done. They're like really into like dresses and heels and all that cute stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. But then on the flip side, you got somebody like me, you just like, what? Like, I don't mind doing anything that a guy would do. Like if my strength and my knowledge allows me to. But like I used to, my dad was he was like a carpenter and did like home improvements and stuff. I would go on jobs with my dad. So like my dad is like doing plumbing. He's like installing bathrooms. He's like putting down carpet. Like then he knew how to work on cars. Like all of that stuff. And I was a daddy's girl, so I'm like right by his hip. So I think me growing up, they didn't necessarily have those, they didn't push those gender role things on me where they were like, no, a girl shouldn't be laying on the ground looking at their car trying to figure out how to do this, or why do you want to do that and it's dirty and blah blah. So they didn't really push that on me when I was growing up.
Because you're a girl, you were a girl. I'm saying what I'm saying is on the flip
Like
side,
if I
if
was
you
a
were a
boy.
son,
Hmm.
yeah, if you were their son, they wouldn't be taking you to go get manis and petties with mom.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it boils, it just goes back to men, because for whatever reason, men ain't men unless they're doing manly things. Which
But that also
fuck out of
boils
here.
into another episode we did about mental health, because then it forces our black men to feel like they always got to have this thing where they always got to be strong, and I can't show any vulnerability, and I can't be emotional, and I can't show that I have any weakness. And then you have all these daggone damaged men walking around trying to put up a front like I'm strong and ain't nothing wrong with me because I'm a super masculine manly man, and whole time they crumbling apart. Like, so even though like society has put these things, these roles in place per se, if you want to say, or they kind of pushed it on us, um I don't know how we would go about reversing it, but it's yeah.
We probably couldn't effectively unless we got Will and Jada money, like you were saying earlier,
Because
because even if in our household, if we're trying to like break down those walls and break down those barriers, they still got to go out into the world,
yeah,
and the majority of the people they're going to be around, they're going to be looking at them like,
they
the
cray.
hell is going on over here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you got a son. He's just like, you know what? I'm feeling like dyeing my hair pink. Like I'm gonna go to school, and you got
yeah.
your kid in a public school. They can be like, bruh, like, what are you doing with your hair here? So yeah,
Right.
that definitely is true. But yeah, I don't know.
I think that both genders assign roles to others, but at the same time want the other gender to understand that there can't always be a certain way all the time, if that makes sense. Like, how can I explain it? Like a dude wants to be, he wants to be the man. He wants to be respected as a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a woman is gonna, knowing that men for the most part feel that way, they're gonna expect for a man to be a certain
Mhm.
way. But then if a man is feeling fragile or emotional one
Mhm.
day, at the same time they're going to expect for their significant other to understand that. And
Well,
it's
shit, you can't win for losing. It seems like.
right, it's that's what I'm saying. It's like because you know you have, because I've heard men say they want a woman to be more submissive,
Mhm.
but then at the same time they don't like when women are too needy and too clingy.
So,
So it's just
what do
like,
you want? What more do you want
what
from
the
me?
fuck?
Like, let me. What do
I
you
don't
need
know.
today? Like, what do you need me to be? Do you need me to be submissive today, or would you like me to be more aggressive? Do you need me to step in and lead today, or like what you need? Like, it's like, how do you even navigate that if you're looking at these different roles on, how we're trying to diminish the whole stereotypes or gender stereotypes of. And then, like, we're watching TV, like you say, we going in the regular world, you watching TV, you looking at these commercials. So even if we're teaching certain things to our children, if they're watching television and looking at certain movies, it's kind of ingrained in them subconsciously anyway, on like, oh yeah, boys do this or girls do this. So I guess damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, whatever works in your home.
Right. So I bring up this show all the time, and I was pretty pissed it didn't come on this last week. But Married to
Yeah, I
Medicine,
was looking for it.
Doctor,
Like, what the heck happened?
I
Took a
know.
break.
So Dr. Heavenly, she doesn't specifically say gender roles, but she's always talking about how her and daddy and da 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 da. And she says all the time they don't have no issues in their marriage. And from what I see, I guess she plays that
Submissive role,
submissive
which is
role. You
crazy
know,
the way
she
she pop up. Maybe that's why she pops off all the time, though.
pent up
Right? She
aggression
like, I gotta
from
release
things.
this. I gotta talk back to somebody. So I'm gonna go in on Mariah then.
I think it's interesting though to hear her talk when she's given a marital advice, and it's not even just her. It's like it's all women. Like when they talk about ways to keep a man
Mm,
through his stomach, and you gotta have sex with him this many times a week, and this is that and the third. And I'm thinking, well, bitch, I like to eat too.
right.
The fuck? Who gets to cook for
And
me?
why is it never
And
the topic of how a man keeps a woman? Why we gotta keep the man? Why the man can't keep us?
okay, okay.
Okay.
And also, the other thing that I had wanted to bring up in this conversation was these bitches on Love and Hip Hop. I'm gonna
Mm.
start with Emily B because she was an OG.
And she was on the first
Emily
joints.
B and Kim Bella.
You want to throw Chrissy in there too? You're
No,
not throwing Chrissy in.
because she still don't got a ring.
She got
Well,
a
she does
ring,
have a
but they
ring,
ain't
but she,
married.
yeah. I actually, this was gonna be my I guess my like release, but I'm gonna just say it
Mm.
now. Um, Staying with a motherfucker for 55 million years that done cheated on you, maybe possibly beat your ass,
It's just like you all
disrespected your
around.
parents, um, and then got into legal trouble, and then putting a ring on it, and everybody on the internet talking about down ass bitch, this, that, and the third. No dude is doing that. And it's crazy because Remy Ma talked about that too when she was in
Mm-hmm.
jail, how Papoose would come and see her, and um the visiting room or whatever it is was very empty, as opposed to when you go to a
Mildred.
yeah, male
And
prison,
all the
that
girls
visit,
coming to see they
yeah, that
dudes.
should be popping.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about gender roles. Like, girls need love too.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Summer Walker. The fuck? Why is it that we gotta hold y'all niggas down through all y'all bullshit? But if a motherfucker makes one
It's
mistake,
a result.
y'all out.
Right.
Let me
That
gain
is
10 pounds.
that is a word.
But y'all be out here with whole beer bellies
And we still loving you.
and still be cheating somehow, and then we still be holding it down.
Right.
Like, nah, nah, fam. So I need the Kimbellas and the Yandy Smiths and the Emily
So
B's to
did
get the fuck out of here.
the what's the name cheat? Wasn't it Mendices? He cheated on Yandy?
They got Mendices got a baby that's a child that's the same age as Yandy's
Say
child.
baby Jesus. Mm.
Yeah. You don't remember on Joe Budden podcast when they
That little drop that they be talking like that they always
yes,
that's what
they
that's about. Why he so
yes.
shady? Why he keep playing? Oh, the
Yes.
shade of it all.
So it's just like these gender I
Mm.
listen, I don't subscribe to none of them gender roles that these niggas think I should be out here doing.
Right.
And guess what, girls? I'm still married, so
Oh,
there's that. There's hope, okay?
look.
Cause picture that. When I let me tell you, I was in this one relationship and I was Susie fucking homemaker, okay? I was cooking every day. I was busting it down morning, noon, and night. I was all the shit that all the dudes say that they want. And guess what? I still got cheated on.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. You can be the baddest, the best, whatever, and they will find somebody that ain't half of what you are and still lay it low and spread it wide. But here I am, a whole ass tomboy that don't keep my head done, really wear makeup, don't be trying dressed to impress. And yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good for myself. Like, and here you got some girls out here with the most expensive outfits, we be laid, and can't find a man. So how them gender roles working for y'all? Okay.
So I have a riddle for
A
you.
riddle. Okay, Riddler.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead and lock it down.
A father and son get in a car crash and are rushed to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
The father
Mm.
dies. The boy is taken to the operating room, and the surgeon says, I can't operate on this boy because he's my son. How is this possible?
This is his mother.
So, 40 to 75% of people can't solve this riddle because they're unable to imagine that the surgeon is a woman. The surgeon is the boy's mom.
Really, are people that close minded that they just like, did the man come back to life? Like, they really
I,
not even
I
thinking like he
saw
has
this
another
on
parent?
Facebook.
Hmm.
No, I saw the riddle on Facebook, and like mad people were like, "No, I mean that doesn't make sense if his father died." Like, da 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 da. And the women, and it was crazy because it was mostly men who were just like scratching their head, like, "Oh,
Like,
yeah,"
what you mean?
and yeah,
They couldn't fathom that the surgeon would be a woman. Mm.
yeah,
Well, that falls under that whole gender stereotype under occupation where like, no, you can't. Even though we're starting to see more male teachers, but you deal with the teachers or nurses being males or like females being a doctor or a pilot, which you really don't see too many when you fly. You don't see too many pilots, but there are female pilots. But traditionally, you'll think it's a male pilot and the stewardess are female, that sort of thing. But I've seen male stewardess as well. But yeah, you have this not standard, but you have this norm that society projects that that's what it is. But that's wild that many people wouldn't be able to get that. That's wild.
I mean,
Riddle me this.
I swear, I saw that shit. I've seen it on Facebook twice actually, and yeah, both times it's just like a bunch of people in the comments super confused.
Mm.
So I brought that up because you were talking about the gender roles as far as like occupations and stuff like that are
Mm-hmm.
concerned. Like those are very true. Especially like even like in managerial positions, like most of the time you assume that those are men.
Right.
um I know me working like mostly like military commands, the commanding officers at every installation I've worked at has been a
Oh
man.
wow.
It's never been a woman. Um, I'm waiting for the day that I work somewhere where the CEO is a woman.
It's like, hey,
That'd be
hey,
tight.
girl, hey. Then she
Yeah.
probably end up being a biatch. But I know, like, just being in
No.
corporate America, like, most of the higher ups, leadership, management are usually males. I'm not even gonna get into race. I'm just gonna say males. But the
You know.
I know what it is. But most of the managers that I have ran into and leaderships, whether it's a director or something like that, not all of them, but most of them end up being bitches. It's like they feel like they have to overcompensate of asserting themselves in order to keep up with the guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
But they kind of do in a way. So the gender role thing is tricky, I think, with that because we're already looked at as being too passive and too nurturing and too this and too that.
mm-hmm,
So we have to put our foot down and make sure nobody tries to take advantage of us and nobody calls us weak. But then it's like as soon as we are a little assertive, then we're automatically a bitch. Nicki Minaj was saying that in one of her little MTV
mm-hmm,
specials that like she hears Lil Wayne cuss people out a million times a day when shit ain't right.
mm-hmm,
And when people hear him cussing people out, he's a boss.
right.
But when she does it, she's a bitch.
Mm,
So sometimes I feel like we're just all too hard on women in general because of those preconceived notions in our head that women are supposed to be soft and delicate and,
right.
not aggressive and not this. I'm not saying that your old boss, it was not a bitch. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Cause he was. But yeah, that does make sense though. Like you gotta kind of. I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking it easy on people because, like you said, our normal personality traits would be to be more nurturing. So we don't want to look at it as we're taking it easy on our team versus like males like we're going to get the job done, blah blah blah. And for them it's okay, but when a woman do it, most of the time you're just like, oh, this bitch,
Right.
right?
Cause no lie, I mean, at my job that I just left, the women that work there are the ones that are doing everything. The men, they ain't doing
They
shit.
just
But
they
they
getting
just get
the kudos for it.
yeah, and they getting a pat on their ass and that's the end. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like we like that saying, like we have to work twice as hard and throwing race, 3 times as
Hmm. Right,
hard.
just to be on the even playing field, and you
Right. It's
still
just
ain't even for real, for real.
basically it's just one of those unfortunate things. Uh
It's not something that I
yeah.
see that we can even come up with a solution. Like yeah,
As far as work is concerned, we could just have an all women's corporation, a company.
that'll be lit. But it's gonna
And
be
that,
some catty bitches in that joint. I'm just
you
saying,
think so?
man. As much as I want to be pro woman, women be catty, bro,
That's a,
and
but
get.
dudes be on some bullshit
But they
too.
don't. I mean, they gossip, but they. I don't know. Yeah, I ain't gonna sound like what was that word that you called me last time?
I don't know.
Shut up. you you like, nope, I ain't telling you. It was a
But no, I think if we had an all women's company, we would get shit done.
for sure shit would get done. But between the ranks, everybody like that bitch get on my fucking nerves, son. Whoop de doop doop doop. Cause it happens.
We would have
Hmm.
we would have a better chance of being recognized for our actual like
Oh
work
yeah,
and
cause women
stuff.
would definitely give your ass some kudos.
Yeah, if you handling your business, I mean, personally, as long as I'm getting paid for what the fuck I do, I don't care about your gossip.
Right.
That's what's up.
I don't need
That's just
I
me.
don't need no trophy. I don't need no certificate. Show me on my paycheck how much you appreciate me.
Okay.
Oh,
It's some crybaby ass dudes that would probably be like, "This is discrimination. This is reverse
you
sexism.
already
Why
know.
can't I work
Because they're going
there?"
to find any reason. Like, no, I don't like that. They're winning all the contracts and making all the money. No, no, no.
I don't
This
want to
isn't
work
fair.
there.
Right.
Yeah. As far as relationships are concerned, as far as gender roles, I just feel like fuck y'all. I mean, but that's always my
That's my answer.
that's my go-to for everything. Like, Ain't no gender roles in this relationship.
No, we equal opportunity in this relationship.
Okay, no, I just thought I said that, but then I'm thinking, am I saying that from my perspective? If B Dub was if B Dub just cried every single day, like you wouldn't be looking at
Every
him
day,
like,
no, because I can't deal with
man
crying.
up.
Like it's fine. Like every so often, like if something's going on or you going through something, like I'm not that insensitive. Like I'm able to, be nurturing. But bruh, exhibit A, my son. Like I'm just like, yo, what more do you want from me? I need that sound drop because like, yo, every day crying, I'm gonna just be like, sir, like I don't want to say the cliche, get your life, but I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up. Like,
But when we watched Will and Jada talk, Will was like, Jada cried every day for 40 something days. Everybody was just like,
oh,
oh.
I'd have been, but that's a lot.
But if she would have been like, Will cried every day for 40
They'd
something
be like,
days.
bitch, what?
Exactly.
Jada would have cussed them the fuck out.
See, that's what I'm saying. Man,
Yeah, I guess gender
it's
roles is
just,
just a part of life. Like it's just our society, and it's like it's ingrained from a young age, and it's just embedded in us. Like even when subconsciously, it's just like, look, even though you're saying like we should have some leeway and men should be able to be emotional and express themselves, we like only to a certain extent though. Like you can go through something, you can mourn, you can have stressful moments, you can have breakdowns. That's cool. But you're not about to be a whole ass crybaby where you cry every day. That's the way you like. I gotta draw the line. So
see,
it's like you want them to be that way, but it's like, but to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So it's like a double standard, pretty much.
and that's another reason why men are probably out here fucking with fucked up mental health because they know
Hmm.
that if they start being too expressive, we gonna be looking at them like, the
But that's why
fuck.
they need to go to a counselor so they can let all that shit go.
And that is the black ass bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. Take y'all asses to
For
therapy.
sure.
I'd be wanting everybody to go to therapy, okay? I wish we could all just have Iyanla fix our shit,
Look, let me
cause
tell you something.
nigga,
Ayana, you can stay right in the guest room. Let me, or we can stay.
take your ass to Centerville first.
We gonna stay. No, we gonna stay at one of them little sexy Airbnb she be getting for her guests on the show. Like, let's
Facts
go
with
and
the
stay.
chefs.
Yes, they definitely be chefing up the
The chef
breakfast.
be cooking all the foods.
Dog, they be having prepared lunch, breakfast. Like shit, I go there just to eat good. Fix my life, Ayana. I'm fat as fuck. Come on, chef, hurry up. I'm hungry. But
Yeah.
well, that's all I had on this topic. I guess we ain't come up with nothing to save the world. So we just giving y'all our opinions. Listeners, if you guys have any ideas or input on your opinions on gender roles, you know what to do because we say it every episode. You can go ahead and comment on our question of the day post and follow us on Instagram, the Chatty Patties. Hit us up on Twitter, the Chatty Patties, or you can shoot us an email, the Chatty Patties at, why do I always mess it up? At Yahoo? Okay,
Yes.
good. At yahoo.com. Got too many email addresses. I'm just like, what are we on? Yeah, yahoo.com. And just shoot us something. And, you guys start sending us some interesting stuff. And maybe we'll start reading some questions. That's why I say interesting, because we might get some stuff that's like, nah, you tried it. But let us know what you what you're feeling on this topic about gender roles. Do you feel like in your household you guys have gender roles? Like, do you feel like you're the cooker and the cleaner and taking care of the kidder, and and your husband is the fixer and the moneyer? Let us know. But that's all I have on that topic.
So my tea was gonna be that whole Kimbella getting proposed to this past weekend on stage and not looking happy at all.
Look, I thought I was the only one that peeped that. It's like when he proposed, she didn't look excited. She didn't look surprised. She was just like, "Oh yes, I will. That's a nice ring. Thanks. Let's take this picture."
Real right before we started, I was scrolling on Facebook and somebody had posted a picture of Miguel. Miguel married his girl,
Mhm.
I think last week or the week before, whatever.
Mhm.
And somebody was like, they've been together for 13 years. And so the comments were basically like, women love to say that they wouldn't stick around for a man for that long, but like, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy to be with somebody for 2 years and already want to make a commitment to them for the rest of your life. You talking about 40, 50 years and you only know that person for 2 years. Most of the people whose marriages last long dated for a longer time. That's why divorce rates are over 50% or something like that. Was basically what the comments were about. And on
Mm.
one hand, I agree, because I mean the statistics are what they are. There are a lot of people that get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
However, y'all motherfuckers are the rule, not the exception. The rule is if that man don't want to marry your ass, he gonna string you along for as long as he possibly fucking
To
can
get whatever he
until he
want.
can't no more.
Exactly.
Yes. And so after watching this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop and seeing that Mr. Veneers had to live with his
Dog,
mama,
he can't even talk right with them joints. His voice sounds totally different with them teeth in.
because he got extra large teeth with that super small head,
Dog.
and he should have fucking got teeth that fit his face.
He needed to
Like,
get medium. The medium
JT
teeth.
was like, "What's wrong with his mouth?" And at first I was like, "Nothing." Then I started watching. I was like,
But
"Nah,
the
this is about
crazy
to
thing
bother
is,
me."
before the joint premiered, 50 Cent had put a post on his Instagram of Jules with some like raggedy teeth and was like, dang man. And so the funny thing is, like, the next day Jules had posted a picture smiling with the little veneers on. So I was just like, when did he get his teeth fixed or whatever? And then I seen the show. I said, oh, them joints look even bigger on the show than in that picture he posted, because them joints look like, what's that rapper name? Consequence? Is that the dude with the big teeth? It's
Child.
look, it's a rapper. I think that's who it is. And his teeth,
Mm-hmm.
his all teeth. And that's what Jules looked like. And when he started talking, I was like, dog, it sounds like you got
But
a retainer in your mouth.
I feel like it's like a one size fits all for the celebrity veneers though, because no shade, but Nene and Greg got some big ass
Oh
fake
yeah,
teeth
Nene teeth big as
too.
shit, bro. She
But
got a
she
big
got
mouth
used to
though.
hers. Yeah, so for her, but they still noticeably bigger than what her normal teeth were. So I'm just like, do y'all not get to get like pick out
And
a
these people
size?
with
Like,
money, so it's like y'all ain't go to the best
hello.
dentist. Like, what's happening? But yeah, I saw a comment.
But
Oh, go ahead. What you
anyhow,
was about to say?
that no, I was going back to the whole
Ju-
13 years, 10 years, 7 years, da da da
Mhm.
da. Like I like I was saying earlier, if you're with somebody for 13 years and it's blissful and it's minimal problems, minimal issues and stuff like
Mhm.
that, that's one
Right.
thing. If you're sticking it out with somebody through some bullshit, and the only reason, and I'm not saying the only reason, but I'm gonna just say Fab, maybe they were engaged before that whole incident happened, but timing is everything, and it's very fucking convenient, Cardi B voice, that Fab married Emily B on the hill of this whole charge that he has. So now Emily B cannot be coerced to testify
I
against
mean, but
him.
it's low key the same with
And
the
then,
Condola joint too.
and that's what I was going to say. The same thing with her. Like I was saying, he had, by law, because they were not married, he had to go live at his mom's house.
Mhm.
Well, now that they about to get married, now if he is on house arrest or whatever the case may be, he can at least stay home with her. But it's just like y'all been together for over a decade. Why now?
I mean, these chicks with it. So as much as you want to be like, oh, this man is bad, why would he do that? Like, these chicks is with it. They accepted the proposals. They ain't say,
And that's
nah, I'm
cool.
straight.
But don't use Miguel as the has as the
Right.
example, because not to say that Miguel and his girl haven't been going through anything, but we haven't
We
seen
ain't
it.
seen
So for
him
me,
getting locked up, beating her up, and all type of cheating.
side
Right.
bitches, yeah, we never saw that. And every time she talks about him, she's always like, whatever. I don't know. I This is what I'm gonna say, and I'm judging knowing I'm in a big ass glass house. But struggle love is not it,
Right.
y'all. It's just not. It's not popping. Like, what is the fucking reward
I'm
at
about
the
to say you're
end?
gonna be
Jewels.
unhappy all this time, because I'm sure y'all not happy. If you're gonna get over the money and getting nice clothes and all that other stuff, you're gonna get over that.
If they have
Yeah.
money.
Because if it's a regular
If
degular person and you getting 14 years
right.
worth of whackness.
You getting dick that everybody's getting
Ooh,
apparently.
community pain.
So I just, I don't know, y'all. That struggle love shit. I don't know who advertised that. I don't know who is out here promoting struggle love and da 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 da.
Hashtag
I
struggle
mean,
love.
that shit is just getting played out. I don't know. It's not. It's I just
That's
no.
their definition these days on social media of a ride or die joint. That's what they
That's
aspiring to be.
always what a ride or die joint has
This is
been
their
though. But that's
relationship
some
goals
bullshit.
these days. Y'all can have
And
it.
that be the thing. Y'all fucking goals.
House way.
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
People say
I,
mm-mm.
no. I don't like it. Like I don't like it at all. And then I had posted something this was maybe last year. Yeah, because it's in last year that's when Gucci and Keisha Kayor got married,
Yeah.
right? So there was like a meme going around about how, you know, Keisha's such a good woman because she stuck by Gucci through his drug addiction and his jail bid. And, you know, she stayed with him, she held him down, she made him a better man. And now look, she got this, she got that, she got this, she got that. Like a week later, there was another meme out about Angela Simmons about how good girls love to mess with like hood niggas. And, you know, Angela Simmons had somebody like Romeo who for he seems like a good dude. We don't even know.
Right.
But he seems like a good dude, but she didn't want him. No, she wanted the other dude who had been in jail. And they were basically saying that now look, he don't even be there for his kid. Rest in peace though, because he just died
Right.
like a month or two
Right.
ago. But it was kind of conflicting because it's like, okay, well, what if Angela was gonna hold him down and then he was gonna turn out to be like Gucci? Like, which one,
Right.
guys? You can't you can't get mad at you can't say that we should hold people down because we may be able to fix them up, but then get mad when we're dating a fixer
Right.
upper. Like,
Exactly.
which one?
Which
Which
one?
one,
They
guys?
making it real confusing out here. They make it convenient. They have
So,
convenient arguments for the mood.
OMG. Sick of it. So, um,
Let's see.
there was that tea. That was all I saw for the tea this week. Oh no!
What?
Do you know what the hell is going on with that little boy Takashi, whatever his name is?
Child, it's been so much stuff. Like I can't keep up. Like in the gist, the only thing that I could grasp is apparently he's supposed to be well, his crew apparently was doing some shit, some crimes. Like I don't know, like shooting people, killing people. I don't know what the hell they was doing, but like he ended up catching a charge because he's involved with them and he's been implicated. But then whole time supposedly he had somebody within his crew that was recording everything that was going
Right,
on, so it wouldn't implicate him. But like, kind of like say, okay, I wasn't the one that was doing it, but these niggas don't. So I ain't really snitch. It was this person that snitched. That's all I'm getting. But I don't know. But they say that they going through daggone wiretaps. They going through his lyrics, like all type of stuff. But it sounds like a whole ass hood movie. Like,
I just found out who this guy was this
yeah,
year.
me
I
too.
didn't. I used to get him, and it's two
Lil Pump.
other that guy, and there's a third one, and I would always get them three confused. The only reason why I found out who Takashi 69 was because Mara likes that song with Nicki Minaj, and she plays it all the time.
Mm.
So that's the only song by him that I know. That's the only song by him that will ever get played in my
I
presence.
don't think I've ever listened to any music by him, but I heard somebody that I would um be okay with their judge of music, and they said that his music ain't bad, but I don't know,
Mm.
I haven't listened to it, not one their song.
It sounds like a bunch of screaming to me.
Oh crap.
That's all I
Yeah,
know.
I got a
It
headache.
just sounds like he yelling. So I don't got. Why you yelling at me? I don't like it. That's my opinion. But all I know is I just found out who he was a few months ago, and this past week, all I have heard about and seen is, oh, they had a snitch. Oh, this is, and I'm in my mind. I'm just thinking because I don't know that much about anything about him.
Hmm.
I'm just like, wasn't he just on the shade room a couple weeks ago, like breakdancing in the middle of the parking lot? Like, what happened?
Right, but
Why is he
apparently,
now
like, he's
like,
always been a troll. Like, he's like Like, I think he was on the Breakfast Club, and like I even think Charlamagne was talking about like trying to like be careful like what you do on the internet, because like everybody on the internet ain't just trolling like you are. It's probably some real street dudes out here, so you just want to be careful. And like sure enough, people been shooting at him and all type of craziness. So I don't know the details of what's going on. Like I'll have to like, I don't know where I can read up to see the details of what's going on, but it's a whole lot of shit. Then they was saying that like, I forgot, it was, I don't know where I heard it or where I read it, but they was like people, maybe it was on what is it called? State of the Culture, when they was saying that maybe people be setting stuff up and staging stuff to be relevant, but the feds are involved, so it's no
Nah.
staging and setting none of this up. Like, nah, they are like the whole feds is involved, my G. And he like was legit locked up, or is legit locked up. Did he get let off a bail? Or he's still locked up. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think there's no staging like for no relevant or street cred. Like I think he really got himself caught up in some crap. But yeah, that's all I know. But
Oh,
for
okay.
my little tea, I saw online that Bobby Brown's sister was venting on Facebook, honey, and was going all the way in. Um, Bobby Brown
On him.
on him and some other people. So basically, when his daughter Bobby Christina died, he created like the Bobby Christina Serenity House, which is basically a nonprofit domestic abuse foundation or whatever in her memory. And his sister was going in and was like, oh yes, pour up. His sister was like, that this isn't even, the foundation isn't even owned by him. It's owned by his current wife, and feels like she's pocketing all the money from it. She even went and was like the current wife and Pat, the one that had all, like I think she was Whitney's
Mhm.
like sister-in-law, but apparently she's like pointing the finger at them, and was like, when Bobby Christina was in the hospice on like life support, like right when she was about to die, she was like, instead of encouraging him to stay by her side, like because these was her last days, you set up a tour for this man to go on, so, and he wasn't even around, so that you and Pat could sit up here and plot on how y'all was gonna get money off of Whitney and Bobby Christina. So she was going in, girl, talking about like she's ashamed, and like she can't believe that Bobby Brown let these people ruin his family, and like how like basically his current wife is just like, I don't know, I guess pulling the wool over his eyes, and just like using his family to get like the cash out, the payout pretty much. I was like, honey, let me go ahead and pull up, because that's crazy. Bobby Brown been through a lot of shit in his life. Like, just even if you didn't know, like, if you was younger and you really didn't know everything that was going on, but just like looking at the Bobby Brown story, I haven't read the book yet, but I really want to read his book. But
Oh, I didn't believe everything in that story, but go
I
ahead.
believe, I know, and stuff like that, even with the new edition, the TLC, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because there's always two sides to every story. You don't get everybody else's
Listen,
portion. You get what what puts you in a better light. But at the same time, even if you stripping out all the opinions of what was going on between him and Whitney, and if he was cheating and stuff like that, like just the stuff that he went through, like having an ex-wife that dies, then like having a career that was on the ups and the downs because of your drug addiction, then you got a daughter that dies, you having strokes, like it's just, I don't know, that nigga been through a lot, my G. And now supposedly your sister is accusing your current wife of like using your dead daughter's foundation to cash out. Like, my G, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. If this is all alleged, I'm just letting you know. This is not Chatty Patties.
right.
Like, we not coming up with this. This is something that I read online from one of like the little vlogs or whatever. It was actual post from his sister, but like I don't know if it's true or not. But honey, that's a big ass mess. But that's the only tea that I saw.
Mm,
So
okay.
something good and bad and boo doo doo.
You, You starting or I'm starting?
I guess I can start.
Okay.
Something bad that I want to release. I need to do better with holding stuff in. I thought I was doing a good job with vocalizing my stress and talking about situations that are stressing me out. But apparently, I'm still subconsciously bottling some shit in and having breaking points. So I just need to do better with if I feel like I am going through some stuff to open up and ask for help more. Like I said, I feel like I've gotten better, but I feel like I'm still not doing all I can do. So that I'm trying to release that and be open more for help and assistance for my mental health. Let's see, something good that I want to speak into. I want to speak into a calm, quiet rest of the year at work. I want to go to work. I don't want no big projects. I don't want no stress. I just want to sail right on into the new year stress free because I know the beginning of the year is going to be fuck shit because of what I do. And there's going to be a whole bunch of work to do. So I just don't want anything going on at the end of the year. So I want all of December to just be super calm. I want all of you guys at work to go on vacation so you guys can leave me the hell alone. And I just want to go into work, do my time, come home, and not be stressed out. So, yeah, that's what I'm speaking into this week. What about you, Boo?
This week I want to let go of whatever is wrong with my body because contrary to what TRICARE continues to tell me, I know that there's something that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I am I should not have two migraines a week that last for several hours. And I'm popping pills like it's Skittles.
Right.
I should not be gaining 10 pounds in a matter of 3 days,
Wow.
especially
Especially
yeah.
with everything you've been
Uh,
doing.
my God, like I told you what my weight was on
Right.
Friday, and on Monday I had gained ten
What the
pounds, and
entire hell?
I was like, yeah, we did drink this weekend, but I was like, even with us drinking, like I
So
didn't
even when you was here,
even.
you went to the gym, Maji.
I not only did I go to the gym, but I was like, I didn't eat
Right.
crazy. And when we were mixing the drinks, I was using B Dubs, freaking Coke
Right.
Zero, so
So you was doing
to
super good.
even yeah. So I'm like, when I put everything into my fitness pal to total up the calories, like they talk about to lose 1 pound a week, you have to deduct 3,500 calories. So in order for me to have gained 10
You had
pounds
to
in three
like
days, I would have had
be on some
to
my
eat my
six
fucking,
hundred pound life shit.
which is just certainly not what happened. So I was just like, no, even with how much we drank, that still wouldn't have
All
been
them calories.
ten
It has to
pounds.
be something that maybe like your body's retaining water or something like
So I'm literally in Walmart yesterday, and my ankles, I'm looking at them because they hurt, and I'm walking, and my ankles were like, I thought I was pregnant. Not thought I was
they
pregnant,
was
but it looked like how they
swollen.
look when I was pregnant. My fingers get swollen almost every day. My ankles are getting swollen. Like,
Maybe high
but
blood
every time I
pressure. Do you think
go,
you have high blood pressure?
no. Every time I go in there, they tell me they're actually surprised that my blood pressure is actually my blood pressure is on the lower end of
Oh
normal.
wow.
Um, but every time I go in there, they're actually really surprised at my blood pressure because I'm fat. So, because everything to them is stress.
Right.
I honestly, I don't know, but I'm tired of it. You know, I'm just having a negative time with my body. I feel like my husband is not attracted to me.
Oh, that's not
I feel
true. I
like
don't think that.
okay, all
All right.
right. Well,
Keep going.
all I know is both of us claim to like sex, and yeah, and we were trying to have a baby when we were in California. It didn't happen. Since we've been back together, we've been trying to get pregnant. It hasn't happened, and I'm just, it's just, and everybody says because of me, because I'm fat. So I'm
Nah,
just
I
like,
don't think that's that.
well,
I wish that it was a way that you could go to a specialist or go see somebody else outside of your whole TRICARE or your current insurance situation. Because I feel like if you go to somebody else, they will run other tests to see that, like, it has to be something else. Like, yeah, we need to release
I don't
that
know
better.
what to. I don't know what to ask my doctor as far as a referral to see somebody else. Like they set me up with a nutritionist, but because I started this new job, I haven't been able to go and actually sit down with the dietitian. I went to the big like work, not big work, the big group setting meeting that they have,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're supposed to have these individual settings with them. But I literally just started this job on Monday, so I didn't want to already be setting up appointments. So
Right.
I don't know. Anywho, I want to let that go. And then, real quickly, I don't know, maybe my mood and my attitude is because of all the things that's going on with my body, but I feel like this week I should have been happier, like in general,
Mm-hmm.
because I did start a new job. But this week, I actually, every single day, I have felt like shit. I've been exhausted, I've been in pain, and I just haven't been happy. And so I'm just hoping this is just like one of them weeks. Maybe there's a planet that's in retrograde or something, and I just need to meditate or something. But this week, I have just been
Off.
not, yeah.
Well, I hope,
So,
boo, that things get better.
yeah. So, moving forward, what I want in my life, not just for this week, I just want to travel more. I want to see, like, I know for sure that I want to travel.
Right.
I need to find me a job or something where I can travel. Like, oh, I have
Mm-hmm.
something. If money was not if money was not a
Mm-hmm.
concern, how would your life look?
Lit. What you mean?
No, I mean
Oh.
specifics. Like, if money was not a thing,
um.
maybe we should. Maybe this should be the question for next week that we answer. Like, I want to know, like specifically, like what would your house look like? Look like what would you drive? What would you eat? What would
Oh
you
yeah. Give me some
wear?
time, because honey, we can go on and on about this.
Okay, so homework for next week.
Yeah.
If money was not an issue, how would our lives look? Because I kind of have an idea already.
I can make up some things. Let me tell you something. I'm smiling already, and it ain't even real life. I'm like, guys,
I'm about to create a new vision board.
I need one. Because I actually,
Yeah.
some stuff came true on the last one that I made. So
Me
I,
too. Everything except for the health part in my body.
you need to put that big incentive in the next one with
Yeah.
arrows towards it, like this one first. Okay.
Well,
Well, listeners, we thank you as always for tuning in. We appreciate you, your dedication. We hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Don't forget, like we said earlier, follow us, subscribe, hit us up, comment, interact, all that cute stuff. And we thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
bye.